Segment, I think we're doing great on time, is John Hannon of Jim Doyle and Associates, the leading consulting firm for sales training in local television. John's going to speak to us about something that's going to be live and before our eyes just less than a week from now on Tuesday, October 1st, with the rollout, the official rollout of the Affordable Care Act. So with that, with your prescription for big health care dollars, John Hannon.
You know, I think I'll start with a story to tell you how messed up this healthcare system is. Anyone here from Knoxville? Excellent. Okay, well, you may have seen this on the way in. I was in Knoxville. They have those fences on the overpasses. You're familiar with this, right? The highway goes under the overpass there. The reason they have those fences is because kids were getting up there, throwing rocks and bricks off the overpass down onto cars. Right? So you've seen this. This was all new to me. I'm from Ohio. I had no clue this went on anywhere. Well, some kids, either they're smart or they're stupid. I haven't figured it out yet. But I'm headed somewhere for medical, trust me. Some kids got smart and decided, we don't want to go down and pick up these rocks, these bricks anymore. They tied a rope around a brick, drop the brick, bash a windshield, pull it back up. One of these geniuses took the brick, put a rope around it, threw it down. The brick went through the front of a diesel truck. The rope wrapped around the bottom part of his arm, ripped off the bottom of his arm. They arrested the truck driver. I'm not kidding you. Armed robbery. This is how messed up our healthcare system is. My kids, oh God, Daddy, please don't tell it again. Please don't say. Look, here's the deal. I got about 3 hours, and how many minutes do I have? 18? 50. We'll go till 6. I spent the better part of the morning in my hotel room watching President Obama for an hour give a speech in Maryland. I'm going to try to keep politics out of this. Man, oh man, this starts Tuesday. Tuesday. We're in the business, and half of us or more don't know what's going on. You know, I did a video about 7 minutes long, did it about 6 weeks ago, the day after I put the video out about the Affordable Health Care Act. 3 or 4 things that already changed. I do an update 3 or 4 weeks later, 5 or 6 things have already changed. From this morning to now, something has changed. But last I checked, we don't have any PBS stations in the room. Right? I don't want to step on toes. We do? Oh my gosh. John Hannon, welcome. Short of Gene, am I saying that right? Gene. Short of Gene at PBS, we're all for-profit stations. So we're going to talk about tying into the revenue. Well, Obamacare is going to take some of your donations there because, all right, here's the deal. I travel the country. Here's what I see. I'm going to give you a blistering look as to what's happening across the country. It doesn't matter coast to coast. The doctors, the medical community, they're scared. Here's what's going on. Medicare, Medicaid is a bigger percentage of their take. By the way, Medicare, Medicaid only pays 40% of the ask. So you know when you get your bill back and it says the procedure was $100, insurance negotiated $70, you owe us $10. Well, that's $40. And in some instances, Medicare, Medicaid, 80% or better of the patient count for doctors. Obviously, they're concerned about the changes in healthcare. Private insurance is seeing Medicare paying 40%. They're saying we aren't paying 70% anymore. Now they're leveraging the doctors. Electronic medical records. You seen this? Nightmare. They don't even talk. Doctors are spending more time doing this than anything else, and they had to hire some staff to make it happen, just to be within spec, if you will. Bean counters are buying the hospitals. As a result, they're establishing contracts that are extremely difficult of which to abide. There are unreasonable care expectations. If you have a hangnail, a broken arm, or the flu, the expectation is the doctor's going to spend 10 minutes with you. 10. Why? Because there are minimum volume counts now. So they got to cattle you through. Look at the looks on your faces. This is shocking, right? This is our Medicare. This is our care. All right, incomes now have a ceiling. Overheads going up. Profits, the reverse. 40% of a doc's time now on non-medical. What is the non-medical? Electronic records, having lunch with pharmaceutical reps, meeting with media reps, dealing with insurance, human resources, 40%. So two trends come out of this. Group care. Have you seen this? You take your kid to the pediatrician, you think it's your appointment, but you're in a room with 6 or 7 other kids. Everyone's getting a shot around the room at the same time. They come back with the tongue depressor. And then they do a frequently asked questions. So it's not your appointment anymore, it's 6 or 7 at one time. Diabetes care, same kind of thing. Chances are you've gone to the doctor with a sniffle. You didn't even see the doctor. You're seeing who? Nurse practitioner. Who does everything the doctor does except the prescription. Here's the problem, there aren't enough of those. We have 30 million uninsured in the country who are soon going to be insured. We don't have the people to service them. Enough medical care. It gets better. This isn't doom and gloom. Everybody's about ready to pass. Oh my God, John, get on to something positive, right? So where's the opportunity in this mess for you? Plenty of opportunity here. Here we go. I mentioned 30 million already. Let me tell you how that rolls out. I don't think, and this is John Hannon's take, this is personal, I don't think in 2014 we're going to have a lot of people jumping on the bandwagon, as many as we may think, taking on insurance. And here's why. Because the penalty is only 95 bucks. Right. Or 1% of your total income. So a lot of people are going to look at that, especially younger demographics, and they're going to say, I'll pay the penalty. Yep. My question to the professed expert was, hey, what if I'm in that category and I don't want the insurance, but I lie and say I have insurance? They're going to pay somebody $2,000 to track me down and collect the 95. So there are holes here we've got to work through. 2015, it escalates. Maybe this is the breaking point where folks will look at this and say, hey, I better get insurance, or I don't want to pay the penalty. Certainly by 2016. So when we look at this rollout, and when I study this, I'm not talking about today now, I'm talking about today now moving forward 2, 3, 4 years down the road. Post 2016, it's annually, the penalty will be adjusted based on cost of living. And oh, by the way, according to CBO, up to 6 million will opt out who say I don't want insurance. So for you, that's an opportunity for somewhere between 24 million to 30 million uninsured, which will now be insured over the course of the next couple of years. So what does that mean to you? We're talking revenue. $1 billion for television. Let's do some math. Insurance companies are going to get $100 billion as a result of Obamacare. $100 billion. They'll turn around and spend $1 billion to market this. We don't get it all. Estimates say we're going to get about 70%. When I say we, TV stations are going to get about 70% of this $1 billion. So that's $700 million. So now you think to yourself, all right, John, there's $700 million. Where's the other $300 coming from? Other than insurance. So let's quickly run through where those opportunities are, those other than insurance. Certainly we said insurance companies, but let me pause for a second here. I've already had this conversation. Last night we started talking about this. A lot of stations are disappointed right now with insurance companies and those requests coming in. Because why? They're looking for younger demos. Maybe you're an older station, they're looking for 18 to 34-year-olds, and you're confused. Here's what's happening. In order for Obamacare to work, they have to seed money from these younger folks. So we need the 18 to 34-year-olds to take hold of this insurance, pay for the insurance, because we know they aren't going to use it, or they're going to use it a little bit compared to the elderly. So the front end of this push, this advertising, is targeted at younger people who will seed, put the foundation in for the program before the low-hanging fruit takes advantage of it, which is the elderly, next year. Make sense? So what do? You package up your younger opportunities. Maybe you have to look at, if you're totally an older station, you got to look at some digital opportunities. They're open, from what I've heard so far at the agencies. Okay, so state exchanges. If you are one of these 17 states and Washington, D.C. on Tuesday, your state exchange launches. $200 million in play here. $200 million. Now, let me throw you a curveball. Out of that 200 million, these dark blue states, that's where the money's coming from, right? California gets 98 million, New York gets 40 million. So the remaining 15 states in DC, you're fighting for 60 million. Unless you're Kentucky, and you'll see why in a minute, I wouldn't go buy the summer home or the new car just yet, because it's not rolling in. I want to see the pens fly here this morning. Somebody stopped me and said, can we get this on zip drive? Do we use zip drives anymore? It just hit me. They did ask for zip drive, didn't they? All right, check this out. I have every state in the state exchange, the dollars, the agency, and a little bonus for you here. California, and I'm not going to go line by line, but I'll kind of move through this, and you stop me if I get too fast. California has 98 million through April 2015. 12 million is going to Ogilvy. Here's the phone number. You want me to make the call? I'm a giver. I tell you who the buyer is, but it's going to differ from market to market, right? Write the phone number down fast. All right. So the rest of it, 86 million, is going to Weber Shandwick out of New York. There's the phone number. Write it down. 98 million. Colorado's got a little bit. Connecticut's got some. Excuse me. Hawaii, you're getting a little bump. Kentucky. Wow. Wow is right. Let me tell you about Kentucky. I was in Evansville, Indiana. I'm standing at a station I'm consulting with in Indiana, and they're fighting for a $200,000 buy on Kentucky health care. What does that mean for you? Well, you don't have to be in the state. You heard of this tri-state thing? If you're adjacent to one of these states, get on board, write the number down, give them a call, because you might get some opportunity here. Massachusetts, here's a state 3 to 4 years ago which rolled this out, healthcare through the state. They got 97% of everyone insured. $5 million they're kicking in. Minnesota, just a hair. New Mexico, New York, here you go, 40 million. Utah, wouldn't waste my time, 325. And Washington. Yes, ma'am.
We were in Kentucky, and we were already received with Doe Anderson, Kentucky Exchange in third and fourth quarter.
Did you hear that? She already got her money for third and fourth quarter from Doe Anderson. She got $7 million in Kentucky. Oh, $700,000 in Kentucky. All right, look. All right, so insurance companies, state exchanges, and for you 33 states without a state exchange, by the way, the federal government's paying for every one of these exchanges. They're still paying for the state exchanges. The state just said we want to do it ourselves.
No, but what I know is I'm from Michigan. Michigan actually.
Then we don't talk, man, because I'm from Ohio.
We actually have to pay $8 million back to the federal government for them to run our exchange.
Being from Michigan, you should have to pay it back. All right, so healthcare.gov. If you go there today, you're going to get a bunch of links. You're going to get some cheerleader pages. You aren't going to get a lot of facts. And I know that's confusing the public. I saw it on TV this morning. People are nuts right now. They're saying go to healthcare.gov. They're telling them to do it Tuesday. Everyone goes right now. So it should be ramped up right now, I think anyway, because we're stumbling right out of the block. So these 33 states are going to do some advertising as well. I love their goal. Maximize the number of uninsured Americans who enroll in health care coverage. What public relations firm did we pay $42 million to come up with that one? All right, so Federal Exchange has $200 million to spend as well. So now we're talking $400 million between the two. But remember, this is spread out over 33 states. And that's the total budget, not just the TV budget. If you saw my healthcare video in August, I had on good authority, inside the Washington, D.C. belt, extremely reliable knowledge that pro and anti-advertising was going to be more than $2 billion. I kind of backed that off because I'm not seeing it. But I got to tell you, this morning, after watching the president's speech, I know the Koch brothers, and I know all the anti, were dialing up checkbooks, and they've got multiple millions. It's going to come rolling out real fast. And if the Republicans dig in, and they threaten with this shutdown on October 17th, you're going to see a lot more. You're going to see a lot more money come your way. So this is the, we can't feel in touch yet. I kind of dropped my number to 500 million to $1 billion for TV. Incidentally, that's going to come from national, come from some regional. It won't be necessarily be all network, by the way. But this could be the wild card. This could get jammed up to over $2 billion. But I wouldn't count it just yet. If it comes, it's icing for you, right? Okay. Here's where you dig in locally. This is where your local reps are going to reap the rewards. They need to be front and center in front of everyone with any kind of decision-making ability in the hospitals and medical care provider groups. The self-insured plans most definitely have to advertise. More importantly, if anyone has any touch to medical, they now want to talk to these newly insured people. We've not even cracked the tip of the iceberg with the money that's going to come from this direction. Getting some, I see some heads nodding, so obviously in your markets, you're getting some requests already. Lastly, in the prospects, and probably the biggest opportunity, doctors. Family doctors are coming to a place like this for a weekend, some resort, and they're getting certified in liposonics, spelled wrong. That's the cottage cheese on the back here. They're getting certified in cellulase, taking off the love handles. These are lunch hour procedures. You can have a Big Mac and get fat sucked out in an hour and be back to work. Nobody wants to do this. I mean, that's how amazing this stuff is, right? But these family doctors adopt this stuff. They go and get certified because they got to come back. It's a cash business, no insurance, to supplement the loss on the other side where their passion is. They need to advertise this. You know it. They might not know it, but they're afraid, and now's the time to take advantage of it. Now's the time to help them. The other opportunity with doctors that separate from groups, maybe they have a little entrepreneurial bend, and they go out and create a shingle in the corner, open a clinic. That is a huge opportunity.
Any questions for John? We have about 1 minute worth of questions. Anybody have any ideas or suggest? Go ahead.
John, you talked about a tri-state for the advertising part of it.
Yes.
Part of from Maine, I get part of it, we own 2 counties in New Hampshire, but what's the tri-state part?
If you're adjacent to a state, Indiana to Kentucky, and Indiana is a federal exchange, not a state exchange. Don't sit in your federal exchange state and don't think you can't take advantage of money coming into an adjacent state. You've got to be, they're on the river, they're right next to us. I don't know in their situation how far is New Hampshire, I don't think that's going to play out.
Well, we're the only TV spots in those 2 markets.
Oh, in New Hampshire?
2 counties, yeah. So with that, we could touch some of that.
Absolutely.
All right, we got that number?
Do I have that number?
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Well, hold on. Go ahead.
Seriously, we'll wait.
I have that number. Pass that back to the gentleman.
You are a giver.
He is a giver. Any other questions, comments, ideas?
Yes, ma'am.
I just have an idea, since you're looking for the 18 to 34-year-olds who haven't had insurance or insurance of their parents but haven't because of their newly working and didn't think they could afford it. I just happen to have something like that. Could you do a health expo in your market and go out after these groups and doctors and different and advertise to that person that come in and find out what having health insurance can do for you, and have speakers that say, okay, these are some things that you can have covered under your health insurance now. These are the things you can look forward to. This is what your typical visit's going to look like. These are things insurance companies would pay. So you could have insurance companies, you could have all kinds of doctors and vendors there and make money off of it, and advertise it on your station to invite the public.
Bonnie, here's what's going on. The insurance companies want the young demo to buy the insurance. They don't want them to use the insurance. So to promote, buy the insurance and use it, that's entirely counter to what they're looking for right now, because they're going to use that youth money, again, to seed the program, which by the time they get to the elderly, they know it's going to be used, and that's a loss.
But would the doctors and hospitals and those sort of things want to, establish themselves in the mind of that young demo and get them while they're that age. I'm not talking necessarily about the insurance company, but while they're at that age so that they can.
I think, Bonnie, I think that's a long-term strategy, because everything is short-term window right here. Dr. Lowen, you know, we talked about, even if the young folks have the health insurance, they aren't even coming in if they have the health insurance. Something's like a job. They can't get away from their job during the day. They want different hours. So the doctors know that they aren't going to come in and use the insurance anyway, so they want to go after, again, the low-hanging fruit. The doctors want the older folks because they're going to get the insurance money when they come in. Maybe that's a long-term strategy that plays out, but right now, we aren't going to know if that's successful or not for probably till the end of the year to see if enough 18 to 34-year-olds have signed up.
Anecdotally, I mean, I've had for my station that I represent, in one of my markets, a big Blue Cross Blue Shield order that came in, $450,000 in the market, 120 of it.
$4.5 million at Blue Cross Blue Shield.
You're funny. 120,000 of it was targeted to 65 plus, and the balance of it was to under 65. But really, it went on Fox. So
3/4 of the $450,000 budget went to Fox.
All right.
Younger. Fox folks in the room? Mighty powerful this. Now let me tell you, by the time we get to end of first quarter, the middle of next year, that'll reverse if the youth population is bought into the insurance. That'll reverse, and you'll see 75–80% going old, and a few spots going south to the younger age.
What else on these insurances? Like you were showing the first year, the average cost of monthly premium is $285. It goes up to $600, $700. What they don't tell you is the deductible.
yeah.
I mean, I have seen deductibles on some of these plans up to $30,000 a year. I mean, who can pay that? It's absolutely ridiculous.
Can I tell you, President Obama's speech this morning, he said, you'll be able to get insurance for about the cost of a monthly cell phone bill.
You won't be able to use it.
It's your president, that's what he said. No room for politics in here.
Last comment from the
Your comment about business knowledge with doctors was very accurate. They are really business idiots. Okay, I know I've got several in my family, but including myself. But I know this isn't a whole nother realm, but maybe as advertisers you could facilitate. But what these doctors need, you talked about these doctors setting up these clinics, and one of the guys in Wichita I know is circumventing the whole Obamacare thing, and he's setting up a concierge medicine practice, and that's popping up around the country. What they need is they need education. They need a medium. They need someone to walk them through that process and advertise it for them. If you could develop a company or a meeting with vendors or somebody where you could promote to doctors, advertise to the doctors to get them in there, help them with that process. That's basically what these guys did with me going through. I mean, they didn't do all the business stuff, but they really helped me walk through the process of getting my practice going. So they just need more than I did. because these guys, like one of my brothers, he is an orthopedic surgeon, they basically built their own hospital so they could keep that surgery money in their clinic, because they couldn't survive using the hospital in the community in Hutchinson, which is close to Wichita. So, but there's not very many doctors out there that have the savvy and the knowledge and the drive to do that, and that's what they need help with. Because trust me, they didn't get it in school.
All right, we're going to have to conclude this, but before we do,